Good afternoon, lovely students. This is Mama Watts. This is another adventurous story time with Mama Watts. We are still doing our, our classic, I don't know what you want to call it, collection of serendipity books. The next one I'm going to read to you is called Shimmeree. This one is one of my very, very favorites. I'm not sure why, I love all the illustrations and I just really like the story. So I hope you will enjoy it too. Here we go. This is also by Robert Cosgrove. The whole series is by Robert Cosgrove. He was really amazing. In a mirror of sunrise glitter, In a mirror of sunrise glitter, dawn was born again in a land of crystalline splendor. As the sunshine crept across the diamond mountains, it shimmered from the crystal trees and flowers that made up this wondrous land. For, you see, all living things in this land were cast from either glass, diamond, or crystal. The only colors were splashes of blue, silver, and gold. Beautiful illustrations. In this magic land, many strange crystal creatures frolicked in the dancing lights of day. There were crystal-like birds called glimmerings, smiling little lizards called beamers, and the most beautiful of all, horse-like creatures called lightosaurs, who had wings made of delicate diamonds so they could fly wherever the eye could see. So you've got your beamers, your glimmerings, and these are your lightosaurs. The youngest of all the lightosaurs was called Shimmeree. She was very small, like a precious stone, and as curious as a cat. She would spend all of her days chasing after rainbows or trying to catch the sun. That is Shimmeree. See? Everything would have stayed all sparkle and glitter in this magic place had not Shimmeree, as she was flying about one day, discovered a small pile of dust caught in the corner of a crystal rock. Well, not only had she never seen dust before, but the color of it was most amazing. This dust wasn't crystal blue or silver, but rather a grayish brown. She studied it from side to side and then rushed off to tell her fellow creatures what she had found. Okay, there's her, and there is the grayish brown dust. At first, the other creatures didn't believe the little lightosaur. The mere thought of something new was just impossible. Finally, they decided to humor her and reluctantly followed her to the crystal rock. Sure enough, just as Shimmeree had told them, there was that pile of dust. None of them had ever seen anything like it before. Just as they prepared to sweep it away, the dust settled, and there, nestled on the rock, was a pearl-shaped seed. There you go. What do you guys think it is? I don't know. Josh, what do you think it'll be? What do you think the seed will be?
A tree.
A tree? Okay, Josh thinks it's going to be a tree, you guys. All right. Well, the creatures did not like this one little bit. Not only was there a pile of dust, which was unheard of, but also a seed, the likes of which they had never seen before. "We can't have this," said the leader of the lightosaurs. "It must be destroyed." "Oh yes," cried the glimmerings and the beamers. "Destroy the seed before it harms us." That's them looking at it, just like the front picture. Shimmeree stood there for a moment and then stomped her feet angrily. "No," she said. "Why should we destroy it just because we don't know what it is?" "Oh, Shimmeree," said the leader patiently. "Look at it. It's not blue, silver, or gold. It's not even crystal." Please, please, cried Shimmeree. Let me take care of the seed. If something starts to happen, you can destroy it. The leader thought for a moment and finally agreed. After all, with Shimmeree watching, nothing bad could happen. There's Shimmeree with the beamers and the glimmerings. True to her word, Shimmeree stayed near the dust and the pearl-shaped seed day in and day out. Then, one day, the seed crackled, creaked, and groaned. As she watched in amazement, a small shoot, ever so slowly, reached out to the sun. Most amazing of all was its color, the likes of which she had never seen. It was the color green. There you go. Starting to sprout.
It's gonna be a tree.
All right. With a flip of her tail and a twitch of her ears, Shimmeree flew into the air and rushed to find the other creatures. After she told them what she had seen, they all rushed fearfully back to the rock. I knew we should have destroyed it, cried the beamers. Look at it, shuddered the glimmerings. You can't see it through it like crystal. It just has to be evil. The leader of the Lightosaurs looked around and then shouted in alarm. Oh no, we're catching its color! Sure enough, the small green plant had been reflected over and over again in the crystal formations. Everything had turned a distinct shade of green. The creatures all stomped and snorted and would have destroyed the plant if Shimmeree had not come up with a daring plan. Look, she cried, the sun is setting. We can't destroy this thing in the dark. Who knows what terrible fate would befall us if we couldn't see what we were doing. She's right, said the frightened leader of the Lightosaurs. We'll come back at the first light of day and destroy this thing. The other creatures were just as frightened as he quickly agreed. So they hurried off to safely sleep the night away. Good thing Shimmeree's pretty smart. So she's going to take away the seed. We'll see what happens. When she was sure that everyone was fast asleep, Shimmeree quietly flew back to the crystal rock and the little green shoot. By the soft reflections of starlight, she carefully scooped up the pile of dust and flew to the highest peak of the Diamond Mountain. It was there that she safely hid the tiny bit of dust and the ever-growing plant. Knowing that it would be safe, she contentedly flew back to where the other creatures were sleeping. Oh, sorry guys. There's Shimmeree. At the first crack of dawn, all of the creatures marched to where the little pile of dust had been. Much to their surprise, it was gone. Maybe it blew away in the night, mused Shimmeree innocently. Who cares? Asked the other creatures. We're just glad that it's gone forever. It was at that exact moment that the little plant began to bud and blossom, flooding the Diamond Mountain and the sparkling sky with the most beautiful red hue. Oh no, they cried. We are doomed. No, laughed Shimmeree. Come with me and I'll show you that there is nothing to fear. The creatures, although very frightened, followed her to the top of the mountain. They look very pretty in the purplish red hue. Nervously, they approached the spot where Shimmeree had flown the night before. And there, even to her surprise, instead of the small green plant, stood the most beautiful, what do you guys think it might be? Josh, you still think it's a tree?
Mm-hmm.
The most beautiful red rose.
What?
As the creatures looked on in wonder, the sun began to rise in all its splendor, and colors of all sorts spread throughout the land. See, said Shimmeree gleefully, you had nothing to fear but fear itself. So, from that day forward, color was brought into the land of the crystalline things, and all the creatures learned not to fear that which they didn't understand. That beautiful flower, guys. So, if among your travels you find a thing unknown, think of Crystal Shimmeree and the seed that she was shown. Pretty amazing. This is one of my favorite stories, like I said. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Shimmeree by Stephen Cosgrove. This is the second book in our Serendipity series, and I hope to see you guys soon. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.